Did you ever meet with or speak with or have any interactions with Attorney General William Barr?
I personally did not speak to him, but I was involved in lots of conversations that Jody Janova had with him in front of me, Rudy had with him in front of me, and setting up meetings with Dimitri Firtash's team. I was involved in that.
Do you know if Mr. Giuliani was ever in contact with Mr. Barr specifically about the fact that he was trying to get Ukraine to announce these investigations into Joe Biden?
Oh, absolutely.
Mr. Barr knew about that?
Mr. Barr had to have known everything. I mean, it's impossible.
Did Rudy Giuliani tell you he'd spoken to the Attorney General specifically about Ukraine?
Not only Rudy Giuliani, I mean, Victoria and Joe, they were all best friends. I mean, Barr was, Attorney General Barr was basically on the team.
When President Trump and President Zelensky spoke in July, we know from the White House notes of the call that President Trump told Mr. Zelensky that he should contact William Barr about these investigations that he wanted him to do, including into Joe Biden.
Correct.
That struck a lot of people as strange. Attorney General Barr was purportedly upset and didn't know why he would have been mentioned in this context, but it sounds like it makes sense to you that...
Absolutely. Because we knew about the Durham investigation, and that was going to be part of, I mean, that Attorney General Barr wanted to get to the bottom of the Biden stuff and everything like that. I think he might have got upset that Trump talked about the president, ousted him maybe, that he didn't want to be in the public light like he was doing it, but it was known internally that he was investigating the investigators.
Do you know if Attorney General William Barr ever spoke with any Ukrainian officials?
I don't recall at this moment. I'd have to look at my text messages and see.
Contacted the Justice Department for comment on Mr. Parnas' remarks tonight. Spokeswoman Carrie Kupek at the Justice Department did give us a response. It is a two-word response. I guess it's technically one number and one word. She told us, quote, 100% false. And we could attribute that to her. We appreciate the comment.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.